Hi brothers and sisters, and welcome back to Lesson Gems. My name is Brother Lammers. I have the lesson that is scheduled for Wednesday, May the 22nd, or the lesson that is in your seminary teacher curriculum that is labeled Mosiah, chapters 19 and 20. Let's get right into it. In this lesson, the desired outcome for the curriculum writers is for us to help our students have a greater desire to hearken or listen and obey to the warnings and teachings of our prophets. So let me share with you how I'm going to use the curriculum to adopt it because it is so Christ-centered, so scripture-based, so learner-focused, but then adapt it to meet the way that I like to teach. So let me share with you 5 simple ways that I'm going to do this, and I have them labeled. They'll be right here in the comments box on the Gospel Library app on my laptop. So let me share with you what I'm going to do. Number 1. Readiness, or how am I going to unify the class to know what it is that we're going to do and to be obvious about what I want to teach about today. So it invites us to use these pictures right here and invites us to put a picture of President Nelson next to them. And so that's how I'm going to start. So I'm going to invite them to think about how are these similar? How is a safety vest or a helmet or a harness like President Nelson? And talk out loud, give them examples. Make sure that they give you 3 or 4 different examples. Once they do this, I'm going to go down here to number 2. Number 2 is, instead of asking this question in the curriculum, I'm going to make it theirs. I'm going to make it more relevant, hopefully. I'm going to ask them, why do you think that members of the church choose to ignore prophetic warning and counsel? Why would people not wear a life vest? Why would people not listen to President Nelson? I want them to make this comparison to start talking about it, because then it will lead me into this tool of summarizing. This part of the lesson could take 15 to 20 minutes, and I don't want to do that. I want to take just a couple of minutes because they already know the story of Noah and Abinadi. So I'm going to quickly go through and remind them, hey, you guys, Abinadi warned his people, and he did it more than once. If you remember, he came, and then 2 years later, he came back. The king and his people chose willingly to reject and kill him, and then, because they rejected him, they were not protected, they were destroyed and enslaved. So now, as they have this quick idea of summarization. Now I go here to finishing with number 3, this tool of summarizing. I want to make sure that they get it. I'm going to ask them to write down this bolded principle, but fill in the blank. Ignoring and rejecting the Lord's word through the prophets will lead to destruction and bondage, whatever it may be. Now they have this in mind. How do we overcome that? What can we do? Here's number 4. What can we find and where can we find specific counsel from our prophet to them as youth right now? And it's the For Strength of Youth manual. This activity that invites you to the Lord's counsel for you and using 1, 2, 3 with the For Strength of Youth is awesome. Just as a quick reminder, here is where the For Strength of Youth is located. If you open your Gospel Library app, if you go down to youth, it's the very first one. And then here are all of the topics that they can do 1, 2, 3 with. Invite them to pick one of the standards. Have them pick love God, love your neighbor. Jesus Christ will help you. We're going to say walk in God's light. Great. Now with 1, have them search for the standards the Lord invites them to live by. It is right here. Here are the standards. Here's your invitations. Here are some potential spiritual dangers in counsel. Then every single section follows or ends with this right here, promised blessings if they will listen and obey, or, hearken. I like this hearken because this is what President Ballard is teaching. They will hearken, or if they will listen and obey. I'll finish with number 5. Number 5 is an invitation to act. Please invite your students to go forth and do. How will they live the counsel in the For Strength of Youth? They may want to look at President Nelson's talk, Choices for Eternity, the prophetic emphasis of them taking care of their own testimony, or for them trying to live by revelation better because they know they will not be able to survive spiritually. Again, just quickly quoting President Nelson. Brothers and sisters, help them know that they can follow prophetic counsel. They can heed the warnings of the prophets, and in so doing, they will be kept safe, and they will be able to experience peace and joy in this life. Thank you so much for all that you do. Please have a wonderful week.